Hello and welcome back to Talking Giants, brought to you by SeatGeek. It is October 24th, 2025, and the 2-5 New York Football Giants are taking on the 5-2 Philadelphia Eagles. Shaun, it is Giants-Eagles 2.0. How are you doing, my friend?
Look, I'm doing all right. It's a Giant Eagle week that I think for once we could be excited about as opposed to dreading, which we haven't experienced this build up into one. So that's all right. But I did want to just take like 30 seconds, Justin, just to say when we come on here on the podcast, we criticize coaches, we criticize quarterbacks, we criticize play. I'm going to criticize myself. I have argued with plenty of you in my app mentions all week. I have loved my time since joining Talking Giants, going from listener to co-host here with Justin. But I do believe upon listening back, I didn't capture my true feelings of anger in the following postgame. And I think there was an element of stunned disbelief that the Giants had lost that way. And also an element of, I really have trained my brain into just focusing on the growth of the quarterback. And that was my biggest takeaway in the moments following that loss. So if you were somebody that was just filled with vitriol and anger and think I'm just some kind of pom-pom waver, you have every right to think that. But just know, yeah, I was annoyed that they lost the game. I was pissed off that they lost the game. But I did not view that game the same way I viewed 2010 Deshaun Jackson or the 2002 Trey Junkin. I viewed that game as one that if it happens in year 2, 3, 4, 5 of this Dart era where we're starting to really expect playoffs, I will be way more pissed off than I was, but it doesn't mean I wasn't pissed off. But I'm ready to turn the page and move forward here to a big Giant Eagle week.
Off-season idea for an episode in May and June. Okay? I would like to take a whole week of power ranking, coming up with Shaun's list, Justin's list of top 5 or top 10, probably top 5 because it'll take so long to talk about everything. Maybe even be top 10. Most heartbreaking wins and the best, most heartbreaking losses and the best wins of our Giants lifetime. I'll even say,
I love that. I love that. By the way, this year's already written the book. I know that, we could almost do a separate one on this year alone.
Yeah.
I'll just hit you with this real quick, Justin, because I know you did a midweek episode. I thought long and hard, and I realized that as it stands, we're wiping out the first 3 games of the year because of the Russell Wilson era. Sure. But, and this is going to tie into this week because I know we're going to talk about this, I think I'm still more pissed off about the Chief game than any other game this year because of the kicker.
Dallas too hurts. But so all this is to say, thank you for joining us here at Talking Giants.
Yeah.
The perspective that I am now trying to take, and usually when I say something like this, because this has been said amongst the fan base and this has been said on this show plenty of times before, but now it is being said in a very different context. 10 games. 10 games is the thought that's running through my brain. There are 10 games left to figure out what this football team is and who we are. We usually say, holy crap, there's 10 weeks left. Usually in the frame of mind being like, I can't believe I have to watch this football team for the next 10 weeks. You want to know what? We're going to live and die with every play. We're going to live and die with every game. The wins are going to feel, I mean, we've had 2 wins that have felt like, is this franchise altering? And we've had 2 losses saying this is franchise altering.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's a good thing though, by the way. Like, it may not be a good thing you lost, but it's a good thing that we feel this way right now on October 24th.
It's a good thing when you win, but then the unfortunate thing is, and I had this realization with Marshall Green on Wednesday, I'm like, damn, man, it's such a shame that Joe Shane and Brian Dable are in year 4, and you cannot change that reality. If these guys were even in year 2, it would be so much better. And the grace that you would be able to have for them making certain mistakes, right? It would be so much more, you'd be so much more forgiving.
Sure, I agree with that.
There's 10 games left, and I am excited to figure out what this football team is and who we are. Like, who are we? 2 wins where emotions couldn't be higher, 2 losses where emotions couldn't be lower. So, Shaun Morash, now I ask you, what are the emotions like a week after such a letdown game?
I'm back on the horse. I'm excited to watch the Giants play the Eagles. So the emotions are excitement. I'm excited to sit down on Sunday and watch Jackson Dart play football. I know we're going to do offensive breakdowns, defensive breakdowns, all of that. The counterpoint would be, I'm also now throwing up in my mouth at the idea of Deonte Banks playing all the snaps on Sunday. So that's the counter feeling.
So I'll flip it on this, not just you
All
as a fan. Hey, but you've been I feel like this is a sports radio question, but I honestly, a talking point that I heard even throughout the office this week, maybe a little bit even on social media, that I kind of roll my eyes at. I think even Nicky Snacks said this on the phone. And I kind of use Snacks. I talk to him on the phone every day. I love him. He's one of my best friends. I kind of use Nicky Snacks as like a barometer of how does the fan that's not doing a podcast however many times a week, how do they kind of feel?
I love him too. It makes me feel very normal.
He dropped the line, I don't think they can come back from a loss like that. Which you roll your eyes hearing it, but I guarantee you, even a lot of you at home maybe thought it. Some of your friends thought it. So, Shaun Morash, I'll even ask you, flip it, not just what are your emotions like a week after such a letdown. What do you think the locker room's emotions are like after such a letdown?
Justin, that is a great question. It's $1 million question. It's probably why you're asking that. I had the thought. It's natural to have the thought, because you have those losses in life. But I would say this. The team lost a pretty heartbreaking game versus Dallas. Now, they did make a quarterback switch, came back, won the next week. They did lose a game where they turned the ball over 5 straight times, then went on a short week to play a team they never beat, and they blew them out. This team, you could say what you want on all the negative, has at least proven, even with their minuscule 2 wins this year, that they have the ability to keep coming back out of the dirt and growing up and, kind of picking themselves up. And furthermore, at least on Wednesday's media availability, there were 2 guys that spoke that I listened to the entire press and I went, oh, this is different. The 2025 Giants, even if the record might look the same, they are different in terms of like the feeling of not having that dread. And that would be Brian Burns on the defensive side and Jackson Dart as the quarterback and leader of the team. Like those guys, I think both really have stepped up and become the true captains on both sides of the ball. Even more so with all due respect, Dexter Lawrence. I think Burns is saying all the right things. He's hurt. He's going, no, I'm playing Sunday. Jackson Dart embracing the hostile environment. Hey, listen, you got to learn, pick yourself up. I do think that this team, kind of without us noticing, has been infiltrated with different new blood as far as leadership goes, that they're built for this. So I actually think the locker room is going to be all right. Now, they go out there and they're down 28-0 in the first half. Do you feel a little bit of a hangover? Card subject to change. But at least going in, I think they're going to be okay off of a loss like that.
And this is where the current feelings of the regime, how I feel about coaching, you put a gun to my head. Do I believe in Joe Schoen as a GM? Do I believe in Brian Daboll as a head coach? No. This is where the feelings of this regime, but also the excitement for the football team, where also if you put me in a corner and be like, hey, do you think this football team could win games this year and, actually end up in a decent spot when the year is over? Yes. Like I think both things. And that's why 10 games, there's an opportunity in front of this football team.
Sure.
I don't know to do what. I don't exactly know. And I have no clue what we're going to be saying at the end of the year. But you want to know what? Maybe I'll even take that. I'm excited for whatever conversation we're going to be having at the end of December, January, about the future of this football team and where it should be going. Because hopefully the quarterback stays healthy, but also the quarterback also is playing up to the point that is giving the fan base excitement that maybe there are options and there's good options.
Yeah, I think the model for the 2025 Giants moving forward, the 10-game slate is a perfect way to look at it. 2-2 in the Dart era is how close to the 2022 Lions can we become? And what I mean by that is a team that started 0-6, rallied off a bunch of wins, and they were basically in the mix those last couple of weeks. Now, albeit easier schedule than the Giants have, different NFC. Like, I understand all of that. But that fan base exited that game where they played spoiler in Week 18, knocking off the Packers in what would be Aaron Rodgers' last game. That fan base entered the offseason not regretting losses they had earlier in the year and saying, oh, what could have been, but instead moving forward going, oh my God, I can't believe that we're starting to actually build something here, and I can't wait till the next year. And that is a team that has gone to an NFC championship game and in a divisional round in what sucks, I don't even know the word, subsequent years? I don't know the word. But the point is, subsequent. The point is, this Giant team can be the 2022 Lions from that prism. Get yourself over the bad losses and set yourself up those final 10 weeks to have a fan base chomping at the bit for the following year.
There's another opportunity this Sunday to win against a divisional opponent, and it's to sweep the Philadelphia Eagles. And Shaun, do you know I mean, this has probably been talked about plenty this week.
Yeah.
Do you know the last time that they swept the Eagles?
2007.
Do you know the last time that they won in Philadelphia?
It's over 10 years ago.
2013. Do you know who the starting quarterback was for the Philadelphia Eagles?
In 2013?
Yeah.
Was it Mike Vick?
It was Matt Barkley.
Was this the last week of the year, Ruben Randall scoring meaningless touchdowns? Was that kind of year?
I don't know if it was the last week of the year. I think it might have been later in the year, definitely in the fall, early winter.
Was Randall gone by then too? Like, I've lost track on his years.
2013, Ruben Randall probably wasn't even, he may have not even been there yet. But 2013, do you know who the leading rusher was for the Giants?
Oh, in 2013. Is this pre-Rashad Jennings?
This is Rashad Jennings didn't come around until 2015.
Oh my God. So 2013, this is where we're post Bradshaw, we're post Jacobs, before Rashad Jennings. What the hell was our back situation? It wasn't an Orleans Darkwa, was it?
No, not yet. He was 16 or 17.
David Wilson was gone because he had already gotten hurt.
Yep.
What the hell was our running back situation in 2013?
Peyton Hillis.
Go ahead, give it to Peyton Hillis?
Yeah.
Wow, that was the Peyton Hillis year? Okay.
Yeah, he was the leading rusher of that game. So there's an opportunity. And there's an opportunity. You know, Philadelphia is coming off a strong week. And here is how the game will be very different from a personnel standpoint on both sides. Paulson Adebo and Javon Holland, they at least did not practice on Wednesday. They're probably trending to be out. Like both knee injuries.
Holland with a slightly better chance than Adebo, from what I understand.
I think I would still prefer Adebo because simply I think I trust Dane Belton a little bit more.
No question.
Obviously, Deonte Banks. But the biggest difference for the Eagles is that Landon Dickerson, Jalen Carter, and Quinyon Mitchell are in for them. And those three players were out the last time.
Am I going nuts? But Quinyon Mitchell got hurt in the game. He started the game, and the Giants were still moving the ball down the field. No?
I don't think he played at all.
Oh, who the hell got hurt? I'm lost on this. For some reason, I had in my mind it was Quinyon Mitchell who got hurt in this.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right, and maybe I'm wrong. But regardless, for the majority of that game, it was Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson out there.
Yes.
And like that provided the Giants an advantage where they very much kind of needed it with the lack of wide receivers that they had.
Totally. Although maybe we get a little Ray-Ray in there, but we'll talk about that as well.
Yeah. Let's talk about this Giants offense first against this Eagles defense. Now it kind of feels strange. It's weird to be comfortable and confident about an offense where it's kind of not even like, well, what do they do? How do they attack differently? It's kind of like do the shit that you've been doing. They've been getting off to fast starts in the first quarter in the Jackson Dart era over the last 4 weeks. They are number 2 in EPA per play in the first quarter. The Chiefs are number 1. They've gotten off the fast starts. They are really good on third down. I guess the only thing that I would want to see differently, Shaun, is I want to be a little bit more efficient on third downs where we're not relying on Jackson Dart, these 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 9s, 3rd and 7s,
Correct.
Constantly putting Jackson Dart in these 3rd and long situations with not very good receivers, because I have this little bit of a fear in the back of my brain that if you're lining up at these 3rd and longs, especially if you're running out of 12 personnel, while it's worked over the last couple weeks, I am a little afraid of when will that magic running and throwing out of 12 will run out.
Especially versus a defensive coordinator like Vic Fangio, who just saw you 2 weeks ago. So this is why this poses the biggest test. You could watch all the tape in the world, but you're now facing a defensive coordinator and at least some of the players who were out there 2 weeks ago, seeing exactly what you have. So this is going to be really probably the first true test between Kafka and Dable in terms of playing that chess match with a defensive coordinator that very much is going to adjust to what he did just 2 weeks ago. But I'm with you. And look, running against Jalen Carter, that worries me a little more in terms of trying to make those third downs a little shorter and a little easier to obtain. Of that, there is no doubt. But at the same time, if you're the New York Giants, I also think you've graduated to the point with the quarterback and the running back and, dare I say, the offensive line of some of these lanes they've created, that you also got to go out there and just play your game. Like you dictate the game and all right, man, great. You're throwing your best player back. Let's go. Let's open up holes. And now you try to tackle Cam Scadaboo and let's get ourselves into some more 3rd and shorts.
Yeah, I'm I'm okay with this game if they want to slow it down a little bit. And what I mean by slow it down, I don't even mean like pace and tempo. I just mean just simply running the ball and
Yeah.
giving Scatterboo the ball more, like not even just focusing on the fourth quarter and 5 minutes left and the Giants have a lead, because that won't happen every single game.
And Tracy back in this game, didn't have him 2 weeks ago, and boy, did he look a little healthier than he did. Right. Or they had him versus the Eagles, but you know what I mean? He was not healthy.
Yeah, he certainly didn't look like himself. So I'm very okay with slowing this game down, pounding the rock a little bit more. I think the Eagles are a little susceptible on the ground. I think the Vikings even exploited that a little bit, and I don't even think they're like this awesome run offense. And also the main thing for me, Shaun, is I know Quinyon Mitchell's healthy, and that is really going to help the Philadelphia Eagles, but you still have a severe weakness for the Eagles at cornerback 2. If you're going to have a Dory Jackson out there, who he was the starter last week, if you're going to have Keely Ringo out there, you have to attack him. I mean, that is just how does Kyle Shanahan have nobody on his offensive side and find a way to win these football games? Is because that is the best coach in the NFL at finding a weakness, finding who's the worst player on your unit, and exploiting him until you figure out a way until that player cannot be exploited. And that is what Brian Daboll and Mike Kafka have to do. It doesn't matter who you have at wide receiver. There has to be a way. Adoree Jackson has been so bad. If there is a way to exploit that, you have to attack it over and over again.
Yeah, so to back that up, first of all, I looked it up. Quinyon Mitchell did get hurt late in the second quarter of that Thursday night game. I mean, the Giants offense had already moved the ball with him in the game, which is a good sign. But to your point about the weakness of the second corner, what the Giants should be, if you're basing everything off the practice reports, it feels like Darius Slayton is trending to play. And whether you're somebody like me that has issues with Darius Slayton, that's still a professional wide receiver out there, that is not exactly a CFL Jalen Hyatt, Bo Collins type on this team. We'll see if they elevate a Ray-Ray McCloud on this week. And little Jordan Humphrey won't be locked down by Patrick Surtain this entire game. I do think that there is going to be opportunity. The Giants are not great, but slightly deeper at wide receiver up against those cornerback matchups than they were just a week ago. But I'm completely with you. Just attack weaknesses. You have a quarterback that clearly can do that and focus on that. And I would just go at them till they stop them. Then start shading double coverage. Great. That opens things up on the other end. I believe you have a quarterback that exploit those kind of matchups, and that should be a refreshing thing for the Giants to take advantage of. And also, the way the offensive line, specifically the tackles that you just saw with Illuminor and Thomas and the performance they put out there in Denver, performances they had versus Philadelphia, although Illuminor was a little worse versus Philly. This is an Eagle pass rush that is getting worse by the week, to the point they're signing Brandon Graham out of retirement this week. I do think there's going to be some time, and you've seen Dart be able to manipulate the pocket and then further be able to take advantage of those cornerback mismatches.
There's two things I want to put to the side right now. You mentioned the pass rush of the Eagles. Jalen Carter is going to present a really different opportunity that I don't think the Giants' offensive line has had to face since Jackson Dart has taken over. So I want to put that to the side and also talk about wide receiver. The Giants did sign Ray-Ray McCloud to the practice squad. We'll talk about when we expect to see him. But first, I want to talk to you about Shopify. Shopify is the best place to start and grow a business, which is why we partner with them here at John Boy Media. John Boy Media has relaunched our merch store on Shopify with our new /line site, and it was a dream. We brought the ideas, and Shopify brought the execution. As you're shopping our new launch, check out what Shopify can do for you. Life really is a touchdown when you have Shopify on your side. Shopify Sidekick, Shopify Magic, and the suite of AI tools are a total game changer. It's revolutionizing the way you can build and manage a business. You'll have your own AI assistant guiding you on everything. Directions, reports, editing images, content ideas. Shopify's got your next move covered. If you're ready to take that business idea from a draft to a reality, it's time to head over to shopify.com/giants. Shopify is the perfect partner for any business roster, so make sure that they're on yours today. So you mentioned the wide receiver spot first. So let's talk about that.
Sure.
Ray-Ray McCloud was released by the Falcons last week. He was a healthy scratch for that Week 6 matchup.
Giants tie as to why he was, too. I did some digging with my people in Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, Ike Hilliard and Ray-Ray McCloud, the former wide receiver coach for the Falcons, they seemed to be close. And then, Ray-Ray McCloud started to, there's I'm reading from the New York Post about how he was, absent and he wasn't, showing up to the facility, but also they released him. And He may have
He
been
was
on
pissed.
out
Yeah,
once Ike Hilliard was out. So
he was pissed after the shutout versus Carolina that Ike Hilliard got fired and everything was pinned on that. And I guess that was like, I mean, like a father to him, Ray-Ray McCloud at Ike Hilliard. And look, Ray-Ray McCloud there with the Dable and Shane Bills when they drafted him into the league as the 6th-round pick too. So tie into the Dable
with the Bills. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think I expect him. I don't know,
man.
To be activated this week.
I don't know. The tricky thing the Giants have going, and we don't have this at the time Justin and I are recording this, is they only have one practice squad elevation left for Lil Jordan Humphrey,
right,
who very, very clearly has to be on this active roster the rest of the year, just in terms of the chemistry he has with Jackson Dart, with the fact that he can go actually high point a football and not just run wind sprints like Jalen Hyatt. And it's not Bo Collins' fault as an undrafted free agent. I understand you want to like groom that guy. Is Bo Collins getting picked off this active roster if he's waived and put on the practice squad? Like
no.
my guess would be no. So I say that in tying into McCloud in terms of, I almost think you got to sign Lil Jordan Humphrey to the active roster unless they're going to play the game of one more elevation, then sign him to the active roster and then begin the Ray-Ray McCloud elevations. But Justin, here's what I would say. What are Bo Collins and you want to tell me special teams? Fine. Or then let's start with Jalen Hyatt. What are they offering you in terms of playing the wide receiver position right now? Nothing. Ray-Ray McCloud.
Honestly, Shaun, and hold that thought.
Yeah.
Bo Collins has played 47% of the special team snaps. He has 80 special team snaps. It is Jalen Hyatt that.
Okay. Jalen Hyatt.
What role does he serve? Whereas, you were about to say, I think Ray-Ray McCloud could give you an advantage in multiple ways.
Yeah, so to me, I'm not worried about Ray-Ray McCloud learning the extent of the full playbook. I'm worried about the fact that the team is 2-5 and Jackson Dart needs playmakers right now. So I'm not wasting any time, Justin. I'm not wasting any. If that means Ray-Ray McCloud plays 12 snaps in this football game, those 12 snaps have a chance to turn into something way more than Jalen Hyatt's 12 snaps will. But again, this is just going to come back to the roster management not admitting mistakes with a guy like Jalen Hyatt, which kills me.
Right. McCloud's a guy that has inside-outside versatility. I mean, I just like him simply from the standpoint of I think he can give you yards after the catch.
Yeah.
He can give you a yak ability that, like, Wandale gives you a little bit of that. But, man, he's just so damn small. So
he is.
I think McCloud in the open field could give you just somebody else besides Theo Johnson and Cam Scatterbo. He gets yards after contact and he can break tackles too when you get him in the open space, but you're never targeting Cam Scatterbo down the field like you would target a tight end or a wide receiver. So I like McCloud's versatility. Deonte Banks has done a decent job as a return man, but get even Deonte Banks out of there and put Gunnar Olszewski and put Ray-Ray McCloud back there. Yeah. And you're talking about a really, I think an advantage at special teams, which the Giants special teams has been an advantage to begin with. So I think there's multiple different avenues at why elevating Ray-Ray McCloud, seeing what you have, even if it's not for this Sunday, doing it in the future would be beneficial for them.
Yeah, you're in a spot now, Justin, where you're expecting games to be close, to be tight. And if you're telling me Ray-Ray McCloud has the chance to break some kind of play either on special teams or at wide receiver, I'm taking that chance and getting him on the roster as fast as possible. Bottom line.
Yeah. All right, Shaun, who is the Shaun Morash I want more out of your ass offensive player? Because I have somebody in mind, and then that will feed into the Jalen Carter conversation that I want to have too.
Okay, mine is going to be a guy I mentioned already on this podcast, and that is Tyrone Tracy. We saw his workload increase. He ran through that enormous hole. We all love the Cam Scatterbo buzz, and Cam Scatterbo clearly is here to stay, starring on the court side next to Cam Schlittler at a Knicks opening night, all that stuff that goes into it. But let's just be honest, the offense is more dynamic with a healthy Tyrone Tracy to tag along with Cam Scatterbo. And seeing him run through that hole untouched, I think that there's a chance to get him going. And if this team is going to be successful and sustained drives, it can't just be relying on Cam Scatterbo in the run game. They can't miss a beat when Tyrone Tracy is taking his 9 carries, when Cam Scatterbo is getting his 13 carries, whatever it may be. I want to see more building on the plate of Tyrone Tracy, who we expected preseason to be a major factor in this offense.
For me, it would be JMS. And not in regards to, I think he's played bad. I actually think, it's kind of turned it around.
He has. I feel like we're knocking on wood with that, but he's been much better over at least since Dart started.
Austin Schlottman came in his absence, and he also looked pretty damn good and pretty damn decent too. But I think Jalen Carter, if you get him for a full game and a full dose, and Jordan Davis, who will be, a little bit more on a pitch count, and the rotation will be optimal for what the Philadelphia Eagles want to do. I mean, even throw Moro Ajomo in there, who isn't, I don't think he's as awesome, but he's a player for them. But Jalen Carter, the pick six that Carson Wentz threw last week to Jalix Hunt, Jalen Carter just wrecks the center. Just a quick swim move, nails Carson Wentz, and then Hunt returns that back for a touchdown, right? Yeah. So I think the challenge that JMS is going to face this Sunday is going to be, it's good. Like Brian Bruzzi is not Jalen Carter. No interior defense alignment that the Giants have had to face so far, even especially under Jackson Dart and with Jackson Dart, has been to the level of caliber player that Jalen Carter is. Can JMS stand up to that?
My guess is no. My guess is JMS is going to get overpowered in this game, despite how good he's played.
The disaster play. That's the one thing that
Justin, that I could not have said it better myself. That's the easiest thing to do. You're going to get beat in reps. You do have a quarterback you have confidence in that kind of can escape some of that pressure and navigate and wiggle out and find ways to still keep his eyes downfield. So that's where the quarterback helps the O-line helps the quarterback. But no, if you're expecting JMS suddenly to put on his big boy pants and not get overpowered by Jalen Carter, he's not going to. And that's also okay because most good centers outside of Creed Humphrey, don't even him in a Super Bowl, don't get overpowered by Jalen Carter. So it's, look, disaster plays is the way to do it. You can't have, the enormous plays that result in a fumble. Or, when Cam Scadaboo's getting blown up on the Jackson Dart pick, like you can't have JMS getting run over and that leads to the interception like we saw on Sunday. That can't happen.
Right. All right, before we keep talking about the Giants and the Eagles 2.0, I got to give a quick shout out to Nike because we are affiliate partners with them this year. So make sure you click the link in our description to check out some amazing Nike gear. All right, Shaun, let's move on to this Giants defense versus the Eagle offense. Now, certainly the Philadelphia Eagle offense looked a lot different against the Minnesota Vikings, which, hey, they are a pretty good defense. I mean, they're aggressive. They bring the blitz. They bring pressure, and we know that Jalen Hurts is not necessarily good at operating under that. Jalen Hurts completed all 5 of his deep passes last week at 20-plus air yards for 215 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's 215 deep passing yards, are 63 more than he's had in any other career game, and the second most of any quarterback this season. Hurts completed 11 of 14 passes against the Vikings blitz for 233 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Hurts finished the day with 158.3 passer rating. So they were explosive, and yeah. I have this scary thought that if teams have somewhat of a capable quarterback that can throw deep and have somewhat capable wide receivers that can have back shoulder contested grabs, like I think you're going to kill Deonte Banks. And I think there's even a chance that you will kill Drew Phillips either with getting flagged or he just he'll make a play every once in a while. That's a really good play, but he also allows catches. He allows yards. He'll get flagged. And I am worried about this secondary, Shaun.
It is by far the biggest fear point, and why I'm the least confident about this game right now is because of the secondary. Look, make no bones about it. You bring in a Debo and Holland to fix the secondary. You don't have them. Now you start showing your warts. And of all the Viking issues, defensively, as good as Flores has been, their secondary gets picked apart if you can stand in there and make throws, and that's what Hurts did. Well, this Giants secondary is worse with starting Deonte Banks. And you mentioned Drew Phillips can't give up on plays like he did on that terrible Mims catch where he didn't even know it was coming at the end of that game as well. I'm really worried about those guys. I am. Ironically enough, we didn't even mention a name, Justin. The guy you have the most confidence in, I would stick on A.J. Brown this whole game, is Cordell Flott. We've seen him have success versus him throughout his career, little moments here, but this is a big fear point in this game. If the pass rush doesn't get home and get sacks on Jalen Hurts, this has all the makings. You remember that game at the Meadowlands last year on that 4th down where A.J. Brown is just running free. I think it was past Deonte Banks to score that touchdown that really just started to break that game wide open as well. This Giants secondary can look a whole lot different asking Deonte Banks to wear the workload. Remember that big part of that Eagle game was the fact that Banks had stopped sharing snaps with Cordell Flott. Yep. Now you're throwing him right back out there. And forget that for a second. What also worries me about the secondary facing a running back like Saquon Barkley, who got banged up in that game as well, and Jalen Hurts with his legs, the contain that these corners play outside of Drew Phillips, which is kind of his strength to come in and bang it around. Like, Deonte Banks can't stop getting beat around the edge like that, where he feeds to the inside. I'm worried about the run game versus our secondary as well.
Yeah, it's a great point. Now, the Eagles have not really ran the ball all that well. They didn't even run the ball all that well last week against the Vikings, but still, like, if you go outside the tackles and, hey, let's run away from Dexter Lawrence. Let's challenge these linebackers to flow sideline to sideline, and let's challenge these DBs to step up and stop the run. Cordell Flott's I'll tell you what, for his size, he's a pretty physical football player, but that's also the thing, is that he's a paper. He's paperweight out there. Paperweight's not the right.
By the way, would you go to more Art Green in this game? Because I thought Brian Dable had an interesting answer on Wednesday about this, where, we believe in Tay, this, that, the other thing, but then he was kind of followed up with, are you committed to him playing? And he basically gave we'll see, and, we'll see where we're at come Friday. And I thought that slightly opened the door. Everybody was more focused on the injuries too. Maybe we don't see Deonte Banks playing all of these snaps. And while I don't love Art Green, the player, there were moments last year where at least he showed he was capable of being on an NFL field on a bad defense.
Yeah, he played 46 snaps last year. I
remember him holding his own in that Steeler game a little bit as well.
Yeah. So honestly, I'm down to give anybody a shot. I think Deonte Banks is that detrimental, and it's such a shame. It's such a shame that I almost feel bad saying it, because how long can you say that the guy is close to turning it around and that he's in good position? How long can you say that until it's just not true? Not true.
I can't. I came into the year perfectly accepting of, he'll be fine as a cornerback 2, and he's worse than that. I don't even think he's a cornerback 3. He's gone completely backwards. I'm done with him.
So what you have to do, the Giants' path to victory defensively, right? Number one, you have to play zone coverage, because Jalen Hurts holds on to the ball. He has recorded an average time to throw of 3.16 seconds when facing zone coverage this season. That is the longest in the NFL. You have to continue to play zone coverage. Now, at least in my theory, my inference, Shaun, is that playing zone coverage could help these corners out. Right, not asking Deonte Banks, not asking Drew. I think Drew Phillips. Mostly you're going to play press in the slot, but not asking all these guys, and even Cordell Flott for how good he's been. Not asking these guys, hey, go line up 1v1 against Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, and good luck, sayonara. Like, that's not. I don't think that's even with Jalen Hurts' weaknesses, I don't think that's the best path to success. Play zone coverage. And if Jalen Hurts is going to hold on to the ball for 3 seconds or longer, this pass rush needs to make him pay.
No doubt.
Abdul Carter gets his first sack, this first full sack in the NFL.
Yeah, if we don't take a penalty, he has one last week. Look, there's no excuse for the pass rush. I love all the pass rush win rate stats. I love all it. At some point, you're going to have to just get home other than Brian Burns and get some sacks. What worries me about the zone defense, while I agree with you in general, and this is like real bar lowering crap I'm going to throw at you here, Justin. Zone defense requires an enormous amount of flawless communication between defensive backs. And now we're talking about starters, Banks with Flott, with Phillips, who at times is just lost in space, and a secondary now that's also not going to have Javon Holland. That is asking a lot pre-snap in the zones for the communication process. And I know that that should just be easy and simple stuff. But don't tell me that doesn't worry you with the cast of characters the Giants are going to be playing in the secondary on Sunday. Communication's a big deal, Justin. That's a big part of on defense.
I am challenging Jalen Hurts to throw the intermediate part of the field, because he just doesn't. He targets the intermediate part of the field that's 10 to 19 air yards on a league low 11% of his passes so far this year. And it's also the lowest rate by a qualified quarterback over the last 10 seasons, dating back to 2016. So I am playing defense, as in I am not allowing the big play. I am not allowing Devontae Smith. I am not allowing A.J. Brown to beat me deep. I am going to force Jalen Hurts to try and throw the ball toward the intermediate part of the field, or also throw it short. And then this is where we need to have a defense that comes up and makes a play. Like, hey,
swarm tackling, all of it.
Yes.
But this is where Dallas Goedert always scares you in a game too, though, Justin.
But I do think at least through the first, 3 quarters of that Bronco game, man, was that defense physical. They were swarming. They were getting to the ball carrier. So that is how I am approaching defense this week, and force the Eagles, which I think they can do, force the Eagles to try and kill you by a death by 1,000 cuts, because with the personnel that you have on defense, you just cannot allow the big play. You just can't.
No doubt about it. Although, again, who is stepping up? Is Tyler Newman going to step up and play some more high safety in that and not take a bad angle? I just don't have the trust right now. I don't have the trust in the Jimmies and the Joes, as they like to say.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That's where the Jimmies and the Joes that you got. A lot of those big plays last week where Jalen Hurts is, targeting A.J. Brown deep down the field on that 4th and 4. He's really scrambling and improvising. Pretty sure the long touchdown to Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts is holding on to the ball for a long time too. There was some plays where the ball's coming out really quick that Jalen Hurts is throwing 20 yards down the field, but a lot of those throws he's running around and he has forever. This is where Abdul, this is a game where I'm okay. I want Abdul Carter up the A gap. I want Abdul Carter lining up over that center and right by that guard. And I want him wrecking havoc. And I want him getting quick wins where even if Jalen Hurts is going to break free initially of Abdul Carter, we need Kayvon Thibodeau and Brian Burns to close that gap and get him down on the ground.
Which brings me to my getting your more ass out of your player defensive player of the game.
Yes.
And I know it's not his fault because of where he's being asked to line up a lot this year. I'm kind of done here as we approach week 8, giving the excuse that Dexter Lawrence had a kid. Dexter Lawrence was recovering from an elbow injury. Dexter Lawrence hasn't been a detriment to this team, but he has not been the impact player he has been. Like, it's okay for us to admit a great player, the best player on the Giants, while the Giants have had some good vibes, that Dexter Lawrence has not been what he has been in past years. We have the big interception versus the Chargers, like little moments here or there. We have yet to have the Dexter Lawrence wreaks havoc and you talk about him for 4 quarters game. And between the Juergens stuff and just the interior of the offensive line for the Eagles, go take advantage and go give us our first, oh my God, Dexter Lawrence is still Dexter Lawrence game of the year. I need more out of your ass, Dexter Lawrence, this week.
Yeah. No, it's a good call because he's already tied. Hey, he's already tied his career high in passes defense. But
yeah, he's been good, but not the unbelievable. He's one of the best players in the world defensive players of the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I thought that we were still living in a world where Dexter Lawrence was legitimately going to challenge for the league high in sacks.
Yeah,
that is a lofty expectation. But I really thought that 2024 getting 9 sacks and he got 9 sacks in 9 games.
Yeah.
He played in 12, but then he gets hurt after that. He got 9 sacks in 9 games, and it was him and Will McDonald that were leading the NFL last year. 7 games in, we have 1 tackle for loss, we have 3 quarterback hits, and obviously no sacks.
We have yet to see the sexy Dexy dance since basically he did it on the sideline in that preseason game with whoever the reporter was.
Yeah. Oh, Bruce Beck.
No, it wasn't Bruce Beck. It might have been the Amazon game. Was it Katie Hartung?
Okay. Shout out my Amazon people. I love my Amazon people.
They're never primed to let you down.
Love that. All right, Shaun. We're going to move on to segments. We're going to move on to the touchdown draft. But before we do, the touchdown draft is sponsored by our friends over at DraftKings. Stay in on the action and use your bonus bets on DraftKings same game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. Love the thrill of live betting? DraftKings has got you covered. Bet live on star player props and in-progress games right as they happen. New customers bet $5 and get 3 months of League Pass and get $300 if your bet wins, paid in bonus bets. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code JAMFOOTBALL. That's code JAMFOOTBALL to get $300 in bonus bets instantly if your first $5 bet hits. Plus 3 months of NBA League Pass in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Are you a Brooklyn Nets fan?
I am a Brooklyn Nets fan. They were atrocious on opening night. Beyond atrocious. They might be worse than the Jets in terms of unwatchability this year.
Wow. That's saying something.
Igor Daimon. Get used to that name, though.
My Knicks looked really good.
Okay. Listen, by the way, I don't like the Knicks, but if somebody's happy around here, I hope you make the finals and lose. How about that?
Oh, wow. That's mean. Touchdown draft. I had a good week last week. I bet Jackson Dart. That was a no, but I got a yes with Theo Johnson on really a
What do you mean?
miracle.
You got Jackson Dart.
But he didn't have a rushing touchdown. Oh, wow. I went 3 for 3. I forgot about the rushing touchdown.
Are you serious?
Wow. That changes the score entirely.
Man, that game did wonders to your brain. You forgot Jackson Dart maybe had one of the most heroic moments he'll ever have in his career, and then it was spoiled.
I want to forget the end, though. You have the memory of a goldfish as a fan sometimes. So I went 3 for 3. Jackson Dart rushing touchdown. Theo Johnson. So Jackson Dart at plus 350. Theo Johnson that's plus 475. And then J.K. Dobbins at plus 125. So I had a
monster week. I told you. I texted you. I said, I feel like you killed me in that.
I did. You went 1 for 3. You got Cam Scatterbo, and he was minus 105.
Yeah.
And you bet Giants defense and Denver defense.
I had the game read wrong.
Which is wrong.
I'm just going to say this about the touchdown draft. We've graduated to something here now in this touchdown draft. I am now throwing out the idea, just because the Giants don't have great wide receivers, that they can't score points. I think it's very evident now that this draft becomes fun the rest of the year, because you kind of expect, no matter who the defense is, how could you not, after what they did versus Denver, that this team is going to have opportunities to score points.
So on the year, I have 1,640 points. And the way that we do points, as a reminder, is Jackson Dart was plus 350 last week, so I get 250 points.
Yes.
Get your profit. So I have 1,640 points, and Shaun, you have 660.
Yeah. So I got, 95 points on Cam Scatterbo, something like that? That's the way that works?
Yes, you did. 95 on the dot.
Okay.
So who had the first pick last week? I may just give it to you because of how far behind you are.
All right. That's fine. All right. So I'm not screwing around here. I got to go big game hunting a little bit. I'm taking Lil Jordan Humphrey at plus 750 in this game.
Wow.
No Patrick Surtain here. And I do think that they are going to use him in the red zone. I think we're going to keep kind of elevating this up a little bit. And I like the odds on this too. So I'm going to swoop in and take him now. I think he has the best odds for somebody I think will get in the end zone on Sunday.
I really want to look up if and I could do this pretty quickly. I really want to look up if Lil Jordan Humphrey has any red zone targets.
I think we're going to start graduating that way here, Justin.
You think we're going to start graduating to apply? Shaun, I bet you he has like.
I love his matchup versus these corners, and I love that Dart is going to throw it up to him.
Oh man, please tell me it's here. Oh, come on, NFL Plus. You're telling me you don't have.
He may not, dude.
Oh, man. Well, it's somewhere. I'll be able to find it. I bet you he has less than 3 red zone targets.
That's fine. Doesn't need a red zone target to get in the end zone. We saw him go down the field versus Philly. He looked good versus the Eagle corners.
I'm going to keep going with Theo Johnson, and I'm going to ride the hot hand. I don't understand why Theo Johnson continues to Wan'Dale Robinson is at plus 310 and Theo Johnson's at plus 330. That will eventually switch and flop whenever people catch on. So give me Theo Johnson as my first pick.
All right, I'm going back to the Giants receivers. Give me Wan'Dale Robinson at plus 310.
Okay.
But amazing. We're going all Giants first 3 picks.
It is pretty amazing.
Well, it also isn't amazing. For those playing at home, most of the Eagles rank in the top 6, where if we pick one, we can't pick another.
And also, I think this is the first time in the brand new Talking Giants touchdown draft with Shaun Morash and Justin Pennick. First time where 3 players are in the minus. Barkley's at minus 155. Hurts is at minus 140. Cam Scatterbo at minus 115.
Yes.
So you took Wan'Dale. Am I really going to take another Giant? I said I wanted to take him in my head. I'm taking Daniel Bellinger because he's been crazy close to scoring. He was close against the Saints, and then he had that drop. It was a beautiful throw by Jackson Dart, but then he had that drop in the end zone too against Denver last week. He's so damn close. He's going to score a touchdown, and if you bet it, you're eventually going to hit big. Your last pick.
By the way, he's so damn close. He scored the first touchdown of the game last week. I'm taking A.J. Brown at plus 180 versus our secondary.
I have a horrible memory.
You don't remember Daniel Bellinger caught the first 44-yard touchdown?
I do.
You have forgotten 2 touchdowns. Man, you really wanted to wipe the slate clean in this game, Justin.
Really did. You took A.J. Brown at plus 180.
Yes.
Very nice.
I was going to say, Giants are scoring so many touchdowns for once, we actually can forget who scored them. That's pretty impressive.
I know. I wonder if we're going to see more under center passing now. Because I want to say like Jackson Dart's first under center play action passing attempt of his NFL career. And it went for a touchdown.
Yeah, maybe not versus Jalen Carter, but we'll see.
You got your final guy was in the top 5. That means I can go in the top 5. Man, do I just go? I mean, I feel like Jalen Hurts at minus 140. Yeah, let's just do that. They're tush put. They're going to
get a cheap 60 points there, and away we go.
Yeah, they're going to remember that. Oh yeah, they got really mad that we did it 4 times in a row, and then they're going to want to do it again. And Jalen Hurts minus 140. So here's my team. My team is Theo Johnson at plus 330, Daniel Bellinger at plus 650, Jalen Hurts at minus 140. Shaun took Lil Jordan Humphrey with this first pick at plus 750. Wasn't even in my consideration. Wanda Robinson at plus 310, and then A.J. Brown at plus 180.
I'm winning this week. Your smugness about Lil Jordan Humphrey, I can't wait.
You kind of have to.
There's a lot of football left.
I'm kicking your ass at the touchdown draft, but man, are you kicking my ass in spread picks? Because last week I went 3-5. You went 6-2. Another good week for you. On the season, on the Talking Giants spread picks 2.0 with Shaun Morash and Justin Panic, I'm 13-19. Let the record show that before Shaun Morash came here, I was 500, and now Shaun Morash is 22-10.
Feels so good. Feels so good to win money.
Vikings at Chargers. Chargers are home favorites, 3 points. Thursday Night Football, Amazon Prime. Shaun, what do you got?
Love the game to watch, hate the game to bet. I'm taking the Chargers, although their offensive line versus this Brian Flores pass rush scares the hell out of me, but we are very quickly seeing Carson Wentz going back to being Carson Wentz. So give me the better quarterback in this game. I'll take the Chargers to cover.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. Like, I just think Herbert's the better quarterback is the spot on analysis here. Give me the Chargers. Bears at Ravens. Lamar Jackson back to 1-5 Ravens. Ew. They're still 6.5 point home favorites. Shaun Morash. No, you know what? I'm going to go.
Sure.
I think the Bears are going to cover because I do think that Ravens defense is just really bad, and I think Ben Johnson can find a way to get some explosive plays. And like, I don't know if that Ravens defense is good enough to allow their offense to get out to a lead and hold it, especially more than a touchdown. So
Ravens are the lazy pick here. I think everybody just assumes, Lamar's back, so now it's time to bet them. Bears not that great. Like, and I agree, I'm not a big Bears guy, but the Raven defense has to show a lot here, Justin. I'm with you. I think Ben Johnson can toy with them a little bit. Do I think the Ravens win the game? Probably, but I actually think you get a really fun game here. I'm going to take the Bears to cover.
49ers at Texans. Texans are 1.5 point home favorites. Shaun, who do you got here?
I'm taking the Niners. They keep losing guys and they keep competing. Plus, I'm not facing them off a loss.
Yeah, we're 3 for 3 in agreement so far. I like the Niners, and I like them because they're so broken and they should be so like demoralized with the amount of and the names that are hurt too. Yet they keep fighting back, and Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh are getting their guys fucking ready to play.
Well coached, man.
So fun. It's fun to see what they're doing. I don't know if it's going to carry into the are they going to be too beat up in the postseason? How far does, everybody's going to have good coaching in the postseason where you're going to need Jimmys and Joes to stand out. So do the 49ers beat any of those other NFC West teams, or if they play the Lions or the Packers? I don't know, but they feel inevitable. So give me the 49ers.
Yeah. Little spoiler alert. I think the Giants are beating them next week, but card subject to change on that.
Oh yeah. We do play them next week. Browns at Pats. Every single game so far that I've picked, the home team has been the favorite. So the Patriots are home favorite against the Browns by 7 points.
I'm taking the Pats here. They showed even last week they might get into a tight game with a bad team, and they'll find a way with this quarterback right now. Get on the Patriot train.
Yeah, I agree. I need Quinshon Judkins to continue to kill it for fantasy reasons. So I want the game to be close for 3 quarters, and then the Patriots can do whatever they want. Drake May, top 5 MVP candidate right now. Hello.
It's gonna be May.
Bucks at Saints. There we go. Now we have a road favorite. The Bucks are favored on the road, -4.5 points. I am going to go. I think the Saints cover.
Justin, I'm going to block you here. I think the Saints cover too. Baker may feel banged up this week too with a knee injury. This game smells like a game where people are getting knocked out of the knockout pool. That's my prediction.
Yeah. We've agreed every single game.
I'm not trying to kill you here, buddy.
Okay. Cowboys, Broncos. Broncos are home, 3.5-point favorites. We're saying our pick on 3. 1, 2, 3. Cowboys.
Broncos.
You waited.
I didn't even hear what you said.
I said we're going to say it on 3. Oh,
no, I know, but I didn't hear your pick.
Oh, it's Cowboys, so we are different.
Oh, okay. Great. Yeah, I think we forget the Cowboys still stink.
Dak Prescott's good, though.
So is that defense.
In the regular season. But the story is so out on what they're going to do, or even if they find their way into the postseason, you just know what's going to happen.
And I'd vote for Dak Prescott, by the way, for MVP right now, because he's carrying the dead carcass of that Cowboy defense, but I'm going to take the Broncos in this game.
Yeah, you know what? If I will say, I just mentioned Drake May, and like I even said last week that I think Baker's the MVP. If the Cowboys continue to win football games, because at the time they were 2-3-1.
Right.
I don't think you can give an MVP winner with the a team with the losing record. But if they finish with a winning record, especially if they find their way into the postseason with the worst defense in football, then Dak Prescott will be MVP, 100%. Oh, it's the Aaron Rodgers revenge game, except they're playing it in Pittsburgh. Really wanted him to go back to Lambeau. Packers at Steelers. Packers are favorites on the road by 3 points. Sunday Night Football.
I love this game on Sunday night. I hate that the Steelers are wearing those like stupid bumblebee-like uniforms in this kind of iconic game. I'm taking the Packers to spoil Aaron Rodgers' night here.
Yeah, if you really were to like, who is the best team in football? Just forget who they've beat, who they've lost to, how they've looked. Like, I think the Packers are the best team in football.
I still would go Chiefs, but I hear that argument.
I think their offensive line is just really solid. It's kind of like they used to be like a jack of all trades, master of none team that then went and added Micah Parsons.
Yeah. Yeah. That Cowboy tie is still infuriating to me. That game still confuses me from the Packers standpoint.
And even like the Browns lost too, how they kind of choked that game away too. So there's weird football here. And the Cardinals kept it close with them. It's like they play with their food. Like their offense should be so explosive. They should be so dominant. Jordan Love, I think, can be really, really damn good, but they play with their food. Don't play with your food here. Show that you're a kick-ass team. I also will pick the Packers -3. Commanders at Chiefs, Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football. The Chiefs are home favorites by 12.5. I mean, this is big here, Shaun.
Yeah, it sucks that Jaden Daniels not for us, but it sucks that Jaden Daniels got hurt. This could have been a really fun game to see Daniels go up against Mahomes. I got fooled last week, Justin. I got fooled last week because I personally bet the Raiders to cover, thinking the Chiefs are a team, ironically, that plays with their food. They've unlocked now with Rashee Rice. I think they put it on Washington, and they win this game by 2 touchdowns and cover.
I don't know. I haven't locked in. I really wanted to lock into more to that Washington Cowboy game to see what they really look like. But damn. Nope. For the sake of it being the last one, and we've agreed so much, Commanders cover.
Okay.
They cover. They lose, but they cover. They lose by 10. All right. Shaun, Giants, Eagles, predictions. What do you got?
2 scariest words in sports are not Game 7. They are, in fact, Tay Banks. If Holland and Adebo had not gotten hurt, I would have been all aboard the Giants sweep train. Jackson Dart is going to will the Giants on the road to a couple big moments. I think the Giants are going to lose this game tight enough. I think it's like 31-27 Eagles.
Oof. We didn't talk about Graham Gano being back, by the way.
I know. But I'm just going to state this because I know I tweeted it. I know everybody has the same thought. I would use a practice squad elevation on Younghoe Koo, and I would not care that I'm activating 2 kickers because this regime deserves everything they get if they go out there and Gano gets hurt at any point and you're playing an Eagle game without a kicker on Sunday. I would not take any chances.
But you know they're not going to do that.
Yep, but watch. But have that on the record, and we could reclip that, and we could scream and yell about it post-game.
Can't wait for that. You know what? I may make a promise to myself. I don't know if I'm going to yell about the kicker situation anymore. If it happens, I may just be mute on it.
Okay.
Because what is there to say?
Oh, I'll have plenty to say. Believe me.
Usually when I pick the Giants to win, and especially cover, they don't. And they lose. So you want to know what? I'm going to choose the Giants to get blown out.
Okay.
I'm going to choose the Giants. I'm going to say the Giants lose 27-17. 10 points. Is that considered a blowout?
I'd be very disappointed in this offense if they scored 17 points Sunday.
But you want to know what? I'm predicting this so the outcome can be different.
Okay. I like it. Take one for the team.
Eagles 27, Giants 17. But secretly, I think they can do it. All right, let's go. Let's get excited. 10 games left. And it starts here. Let's sweep the Eagles for the first time since 2007. Let's beat their ass in Philadelphia since the first time since 2013. Shaun and I will be live on Sunday after the game. Hang out with us on YouTube. Put your post notifications on so you know when we are going live. We will see you on Sunday. Let's go, Giants.
It starts today. Let's go, Giants!